Donald Trump is stunned today after one of his own MAGA senators just turned on him in a fiery new statement. What was supposed to be another display of strength has completely backfired, exposing just how divided the Republican Party is becoming under Trump's leadership. When even his closest allies start pushing back, you know he's losing control. So stick around to see how this MAGA senator just blindsided Trump, and as always, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. We are now more than 3 weeks into the Trump administration illegally blowing up boats off the coast of Venezuela, and it looks like Donald Trump is finally starting to lose support from Republicans. But before we can get to Rand Paul blasting Trump for these attacks, there is another disaster from the Trump administration that is turning away Republican support as well. And that would be the never-ending government shutdown. The current shutdown is now the second longest in American history and doesn't seem to be ending anytime soon. And it seems like some Republicans are starting to get antsy about Trump refusing to end the shutdown.
I think it's
given the impact
for both Republicans and Democrats to be sitting down together to talk about how do we end this impasse. We're all talking about the potential impact of SNAP benefits, of WIC benefits, of everyone's pay that is either on pause or the military that was paid for at least one pay period this month, but uncertain about the next one. There is so much uncertainty right now that my answer to it is it's not just Republicans that need to sit down. It's not just Democrats. If we don't sit down together, it's not going to happen. I don't know that we've ever had a shutdown, and I've unfortunately been through more than my share of them. I don't think we've ever had one where the president was not engaged at the end, and so I think that would certainly help.
Senator Murkowski says that not only do both parties need to work together, but she even says that she has never seen a shutdown end without the president facilitating talks. And Senator Murkowski isn't the only Republican speaking out right now. In a joint interview this weekend, Rand Paul and Democrat Tim Kaine discussed the shutdown on Fox, where Rand Paul said that Trump needs to step up and encourage Republican leadership to negotiate.
The current Democrat subsidies give a person who makes $225,000 $1,200 a year. If you make $225,000 a year, you don't need the government subsidizing your insurance. So I don't think the subsidies are working. I'm open to discussing it. I think if you put Senator Kaine and I in a room, I think we could figure something out. And that's part of the solution. I suggest that President Trump come forward and name 3 Republicans and 3 Democrats in the Senate to an official commission to figure this out over a 1-month period and come back with a solution.
Just like Murkowski, Rand Paul says that Donald Trump needs to work with Republicans in Congress to get them to negotiate. And while Paul did say that he wants the government to reopen as a part of negotiations, Tim Kaine immediately pushes back and explains that Democrats want health care funding up front because they don't trust any promises from the president.
There's 2 issues that really are driving us. One is the fact that folks' health care premiums are spiking, largely because of the reconciliation bill that the Republicans passed in the summer. For example, in Virginia, if you are at 100% of poverty or below, you just got a notice this week that your health care premium is going up by 2,000%. If you're between 100% and 130%, slightly above the poverty level, your premium is going to go up by 95%. Even Republicans want to fix this. People are hurting now. Let's fix it now. But the second issue that's very important to me, and I don't challenge Senator Fetterman saying that John Thune is an honorable guy, but here's the challenge. We can't do a deal with President Trump and then have him tear it up tomorrow and start mass firings or canceling programs that he doesn't like or canceling programs that help blue states. We have to be sure that a deal is a deal. If we shake hands over a deal, Congress will follow it. Will the president follow it? And we haven't been able to get that assurance from the president, and that's not something that John Thune can assure us about. It's up to President Trump to say that he'll live by a deal. Thus far, he's not been willing to even discuss a deal, much less guarantee that he'll live by one.
Whether you agree with Republicans who want to open the government before negotiations or Democrats who want it after, it's clear that everyone wants the president to help bring the shutdown to an end. But Trump clearly has no interest in doing his job. He literally canceled his last negotiation meeting in September because he thought that the Democratic negotiation points were stupid. Now, the government shutdown might be a big deal, but it was something else that led Rand Paul blasting the Trump administration this weekend, and it began with Donald Trump revamping the war on drugs.
I don't think we're going to necessarily ask for a declaration of war. I think we're just going to kill people that are bringing drugs into our country. Okay, we're going to kill them. You know, they're going to be like dead.
Donald Trump recently began insisting that he can attack and kill anyone in international waters for any reason that he wants. Now, this is just blatantly not true, but Trump says that he's launching these attacks because he's stopping the illegal drug trade. And while drugs do make it into the United States from Latin American countries, they aren't traveling all the way to America in tiny fishing vessels. Blowing up boats with multi-million-dollar drone strikes is not only cruel and potentially illegal, but it is probably the most inefficient way to stop the international drug trade anyway. And it's these attacks on boats near South America that now has even more Republicans speaking out against Trump. Just this week, Republican Senator from Oklahoma, James Lankford, was asked how he felt about what Trump was doing, and he immediately attacked the administration. He says that Trump hasn't shown any proof to Congress about his drug boat claims, and that any action like what Trump has been doing needs to be done with congressional oversight. And while he isn't pressing as hard as Democrats, it's about time that Republicans start talking about oversight for Donald Trump.
The administration needs to give insight into Congress. That's part of it. If this was happening with this level of insight under the Biden administration, I'd be apoplectic.
Yeah, let's think about the precedent this sets, right?
And I would say, hey, listen, I serve on the Intelligence Committee. He serves as a senior Democrat on defense. This is typical consultation. It's not permission, but it is, hey, I want to let you know this is happening, and here are the details of what's happening, and here's why and what, and here's what we know. Here's what we know about each one of these incidents that has occurred and the people that are there. That's important. We're all elected officials. We're in a co-equal branch of government, and we've got to be able to have that kind of coordination.
Senator Lankford says that Trump is avoiding accountability by avoiding Congress. But in a shocking new interview this weekend, Rand Paul went even further and said that Trump isn't just avoiding Congress, he's trying to sidestep the Constitution itself with these killings. He goes on to say that these are happening without legal authority and remind him of something out of an authoritarian country.
Start with you, Senator Paul. What do you need to hear in a briefing? What questions do you have?
You know, it's not so much about a briefing, but we haven't had a briefing. To be clear, we've got no information. I've been invited to no briefing. But a briefing is not enough to overcome the Constitution. The Constitution says that when you go to war, Congress has to vote on it. And during a war, then, there's a lower rules for engagement. And people do sometimes get killed without due process. But the drug war or the crime war has typically been something we do through law enforcement. And so far, they have alleged that these people are drug dealers. No one said their name. No one said what evidence. No one said whether they're armed. And we've had no evidence presented. So at this point, I would call them extrajudicial killings. And this is akin to what China does, to Iran does with drug dealers. They summarily execute people without presenting evidence to the public. So it's wrong.
Comparing Trump to China and Russia is a huge change in tone for Republicans. After weeks of Democrats calling out Trump's straight-up murder campaign, it sounds like some Republicans are finally starting to wake up and see just how crazy this really is. Donald Trump is begging for a Nobel Peace Prize, all while killing people without cause. And even worse, he's been sending more and more warships and soldiers down to the Caribbean, leading some to suggest that he might be taking full military action against Venezuela. It may be really late, but hopefully Republicans in Congress are realizing that part of their job is making sure that the president doesn't go crazy with his military powers. Rand Paul seems to remember this, and let's hope that in the coming weeks, Congress actually decides to do something about it. Until then, if you want to keep getting updates like these, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more.